Alright, so you guys want to know what it's like being a real estate agent part-time while being a full-time college student and working a part-time job while only being 18 years old. Well, in my opinion, it's honestly probably one of the most rewarding things you can do in college. But there is a lot to it. So let's just talk about what it's like being a part-time real estate agent at 18 years old while in college. Alright, so let's talk about the cons first of real estate. One of the cons is that to jumpstart your career, you're going to need about an investment of about $2,000 or more. For a lot of people, that's a lot of money. For me, that was a lot of money at the time. Along with that, of course, the scheduling. Now, being a part-time real estate agent while in college and while working a part-time job as well is going to be a little difficult in the sense that you have a school schedule, you have a work schedule, but you have clients who want to see showings, you have clients who you need to take on showings, you have people who you need to talk to, so the scheduling will be a little bit difficult. The third is that real estate is a lot of work. It's not a very challenging career, but it is a lot of work. The pros are good though. The pros is, of course, you make a lot of money. It is very flexible. No one can tell you where to be. You have to be here. There's no set schedule. Of course, you're working for yourself. And the kind of the one that's just really the deal breaker is that you're jump starting your career. You're going to have that advantage that a lot of people graduating college don't have, and that's that you've already started your career. You've now, after you graduate, if you're going for your bachelor's, you've had a real estate career for 4 years. So you're probably on your way to probably making about $1 million, which is way, way greater than most of your counterparts in college are going to be making graduating. So let's go over my first year of real estate. So back in July of 2020, after a very serious health scare, I was stumbling upon YouTube, looking at YouTube videos, and the first YouTube video I seen was this guy who was a real estate agent part-time while he was a full-time college student. He was talking about kind of how much he loved it and how successful he made it. And I really liked that. Real estate kind of provided me everything that I wanted in a career. To be my own boss, to have a very good income, to live that lifestyle that a lot of people wanted to live, and just to be a people's person. So I really loved that, and that's what just grappled me to real estate. So I was like, okay, now I need to get my license. So here in New York State, we do a 75-hour course. That's what you have to do. So for 2 days a week, for my class, we did a live YouTube video, which was about an hour and a half. And then I had to watch 8 hours worth of content per week. So if you're in college, I would probably do this either 1 on a holiday break or 2 before the start of your kind of fall semester, just because it really does take a lot of time. Your real estate exams are going to take a lot of studying. It's going to take a lot of reading, a lot of prepping. It's very, very serious. You'll have to do I did a New York State exam, so I did my state exam, which was 50 questions, and I also did my school exam, which was 50 questions. So I did 2 exams plus the 7-week course. After that, I was like, okay, well now I gotta join a real estate brokerage. So I went with Hunt Real Estate. That's who I'm with now. I went and interviewed. They accepted me. I joined them. So that's pretty much how I got it started in real estate. Now let's talk about pretty much my first year in real estate, or my first 6 months in real estate. So let's talk about my first month in real estate. Of course, I had a mentor and everything, but I was unsure how lead generation worked, and I was unsure how to build up my clientele. So I started looking at YouTube videos on how to do that. And in one of them, the guy really just said to focus on renter leads, which are people who are looking for apartments, and just focus on that, hone in on that, because that'll help you build up your clientele, because apartment leads are eventually going to lead to people who want to buy a house, hopefully. So I would join these local Facebook groups, and I would go in the comment sections on Facebook posts, and I would look at people who are interested in apartments, and I would just text them off Facebook, introduce myself, greet them, and ask them if they wanted help. I ended up gaining about 5 to 10 clients doing that, and I was happy. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually gaining clients. All until I figured that I wasn't going to transact on any of them, because a lot of them just weren't ready to buy apartments. The toughest thing is that really there aren't too many rental leads on an MLS. They don't really get listed as much with real estate agents because a lot of landlords just want to do it themselves. The ones that are listed for on the MLS for real estate agents to sell and get a commission are high end, and a lot of people that you're going to be working with probably can't afford them. So that didn't end up working for me. So about halfway through my first month, more towards my second month, I was like, okay, what can I do to kind of just get leads, to lead gen? So I started doing some research and watching YouTube videos, going on Google, going on Reddit, and really a lot of people were recommending Zillow. So I ended up investing $790 in Zillow. And what Zillow would do is they would just provide me real estate leads, and I liked that. They would send me a bunch of leads. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to transact on one house every single month. I'm spending $790. I should be getting my money's worth if I'm selling one house a month, because they're telling me they're going to give me 10 to 15 leads a month. Well, I was very naive for thinking that, because that really isn't how it worked. It ended up being the same thing like the rental leads. A lot of people just weren't ready to transact. They didn't know how buying a house worked. They didn't have the credit. They didn't have the money for the down payment. They didn't have the mortgage pre-approval. They couldn't get pre-approved. So it was very difficult. But of course, I just stayed dedicated to real estate, and I kept pushing forward. So then in my second month, I'm doing the same thing. I'm getting Zillow leads. I'm moving forward with Zillow. I'm showing houses. I'm talking to clients. I'm networking. And in my third month of having Zillow, of being a Zillow Premier Agent, as they call it, I finally had a serious buyer, someone who was really adamant about buying a house. Her family was from New York City. They were moving here, and they were ready to buy immediately. I ended up showing them a bunch of houses. They traveled from New York City to my area about 2 times before we finally found one that they wanted to put an offer in on. So we finally did that. Our offer was accepted, and well, I sold my first house. Of course, a lot of paperwork went on, but I sold my first house. And that was in about my 3rd or 4th month of real estate. So pretty much the 5th to 6th month of real estate was all the same thing. I was just, again, networking, talking to clients from Zillow, going on a bunch of showings. I lost count of how many showings I've done, because I'm showing houses all over, all the time. And really, 2021 is looking very promising for me. I'm seeing that I'm meeting a lot of serious buyers. People are ready to buy. I'm kind of got a better understanding on how real estate works. I have a better understanding on the market. I'm more knowledgeable, and I'm becoming more and more of a people person. So really, I would say that being a part-time real estate agent while being a full-time college student and working a part-time job at 18 years old is definitely worth it. It's very rewarding. It's eventually going to pay out. You just really have to be dedicated. You have to be a people person, and you have to want it bad. If you're willing to do all 3 of those things, if you're willing to put in the money and just hone in and dedicate yourself to real estate, if you're willing to go out and get the license, if you're willing to take that next step in your life, I definitely would recommend doing it. It's going to be a life changer for you, especially when real estate agents most make about $1 million per year, if not more. So I think that it's very rewarding. If you're interested, I would definitely recommend finding a real estate school or online class in your area, in your state, getting your real estate license, exploring some different brokers, finding the one that works for you, and starting your career. Of course, though, guys, if you have any questions, just subscribe to my channel. We're going to be talking a lot more about real estate, how it is being a real estate agent, some tips for you guys, looking at our local markets. We're going to be doing all of that, so feel free to subscribe. And if you guys have any questions, just leave a comment below, and of course I'll get back to you guys. I wish that I had someone who I could have reached out to kind of help me throughout my process. So I definitely want you guys to feel encouraged to just leave a comment below and ask me anything that you may want to ask me, and I'm sure I'll get back to you guys. But other than that, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.